Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on February 25th, 2023. If you'd like to support my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. Okay, in this video, I'll be updating and making my picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is, this is called my game card. Okay, so this is where I try to eliminate the numbers and try to get it down to the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so you can see that I have 5 colors, and that represents each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to the Powerball homepage and find out what the 5 white winning Powerball numbers were. And they're the 11, 19, 39, 44, and 65. The Powerball number was 7, but right now I'm only concerned about these 5 white balls. Okay, so I put those numbers at the top of this list, and again it was the 11, 19, 39, 44, and 65. And now I'm going to add colors to these like I did here in the past. Okay, so I'm going to get the colors off of the game card. Okay, so the 11 was orange, the 19 was green, the 39 was blue, the 44 was blue, and the 65 was orange. Okay, so the 11 and the 65 were orange. The 19 was green, and the 39 and 44 were blue. Okay, so that gives me a 3 color combination. So I'm going to put a 3 here. And now I'm going to make this 214. This is how many color code drawings I kept track of so far. And now a 3 color combination has now come up 102 times. Okay, so you can see a 3 color combination comes up the majority of the time. Okay, so what that means is that 2 colors are not coming up. And that's what I want to focus on. I want to try to correctly guess what color will not be coming up. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start from scratch. So I'm going to get rid of all these colors, and I'm going to put more colors to it. Okay, so over here, this is my color code. Here's the red numbers, the orange, green, blue, and whatever's left over is purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these last 15 numbers over to the game card as red numbers. Okay, so I'm going to start in with the 11, the 19, the 39, 44, and 65. The next line down is the 3, the 17, the 26, 38, 54. And the next line down is the 8, 21, 31, 32, and 37. Okay, so there was no numbers that doubled up, so there should be 15 numbers on my game card. So I got 3 and 2 are 5, 6, 4 is 10, and 5 are 15. So up here I'm going to put down 15. This tells me how many red numbers I have on my game card. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the orange area, and I'm going to move these 20 numbers over to the game card as orange numbers. Okay, so the 31, 32, 54 are already taken, so I'll start with the 60, then the 63. Then the 17, 26 is taken, so the 37, that's taken. The 61, the 65 is taken, so the next line down is the 10, the 23, the 30, 54, and 65 are taken, so the next line down is the 52, the 58, 59, 64, and 66. So again, I'm going to make these orange. I'm going to count how many I have on my game card. So here I got 3 and 4 are 7, 3 are 10, and 1 is 11. So I'm going to put down 11. Okay, then I would do the green and then the blue, and again, whatever's left over is purple. But you can see I already did the game card here, so I'm just going to copy and paste. Okay, so this is the game card for February 25th, 2023. So again, I had 15 red numbers, 11 orange, and it turned out that I had 17 green, 15 blue, and 11 purple numbers. Okay, so the thing that's important about this is that the way that I have things set up with my color code, it gives me like double-digit results for each color. Okay, so, and that's important because it's consistent like that. And when you have consistency, then things can get predictable. Okay, so again, what I want to do is I want to correctly guess what color is not going to come up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is try to correctly guess what the majority of numbers will be. Will it be odds or will the majority be evens? Okay, so looking at this, you can see that the even numbers have been coming up a lot more recently. So my prediction is that this one is going to be the majority of odd numbers. Okay, so I want to look at the color that has the most even numbers to it, and I want to get rid of that color. Okay, so I'm going to start in with the red. I want to count how many even numbers I got. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 15, that's not very good. Okay, then the orange, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 11. So that's a really good ratio. Okay, and then green, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's not very good. All right, and then the blue, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 15. That's not too bad. And then the last one, purple, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 11. Okay, so for me, the best ratio is the orange. I had 7 even numbers and 4 odds. So I'm going to get rid of the orange numbers. And hopefully these orange numbers do not come up. Okay, so if I'm correct and none of these orange numbers come up, then I just reduce the odds for myself by, a little bit. So that's the strategy of the game, is to eliminate numbers and try to get it down to the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so my next strategy is going to be the individual numbers. Okay, so, and here it is right here, 11, 19, 39, 44, 65. And how I use this is, here's the 11, and I'm going to follow this down until I find the 11. So on this line, this orange mark represents the 11, and the 11 is orange. Okay, so that's how that works. Here's the 19. So what I did here is I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. So I took the 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups. Okay, so group 1 holds the numbers 1 through 9. Of course, this is the only one with 9 numbers, where the other 6 have 10 numbers to it for 69 numbers. Okay, so how I use this and how it goes hand in hand with the game card is because of the colors. Okay, so let's take a look at these 20 numbers here. And I've been saying this for a little while here that, hey, I haven't seen a red number in this 20 areas. Okay, so here's a red number here, but nothing, nothing, nothing. And then it, it kind of gets predictable, saying that, okay, a red number is going to come up here pretty soon because it has so many times in the past. So eventually it will come up, and it did with the 23 and then again with the 26. So That's how I use this game. I look at it and say, okay, what color hasn't come up in a while, and then what's on the game card that's in the 20 numbers that's red. So let's say that. Let me go back to the game card real quick. Okay, so now for the 20 numbers, I got a 21 and a 26. That's red. Okay, so just wanted to give you a visual on that. All right, so what I do now is this square right here, this is good for 5 drawings. And the reason why I did 5 drawings is so I could count easier and faster, saying, okay, here's a green number. When's the last time a green number has come up? And we had spent 5 drawings, 10 drawings, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it's just easier for me to count. But I noticed that since I did that, I noticed that it's like the number of colors that come into these 5 drawings is usually around 4. So when I see something that's been, a lot more than 4 within these 5 drawings, like here in the 30s, there's been 7 hits here in this last 4 drawings. Okay, so my prediction is that there's going to be no hits right here. Okay, so I'm going to say that no 30 numbers are going to come up in this drawing. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the game card, and I'm going to eliminate the 30 numbers off of my game card. So 31 to the 34, the 35 to the 38, and then the 39. So I'll get rid of those. So again, if I made the correct pick so far, the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so if one of these blocked out numbers do come up, well, what does that mean? That means I'm not going to win the Powerball lottery. Okay, so moving on to the next strategy, and that's group 4. Now I call this group 4 because I divided the 69 numbers into 4 different color groups. Okay, so you could see that it mirrors the game card, and it has to, because if I say, hey, I don't think any of these red numbers are going to come up, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of the red numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to update this real quick. Okay, so the 11 was in the red, the 19 was in the blue, the 39 was in the orange, the 44 was in the orange, and the 65 was in the green. Okay, so I had 1 in the red, 1 hit in the blue, 2 in the orange, and 1 in the green. So all 4 colors came up, and the majority of the numbers were to the right side, so I'm going to color this for green. Again, if the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, I would color that number red. Okay, so as I look at it, I could look at this and say, wow, it's been green a lot. When's it going to be red again? It's kind of like a coin flip, 50-50 here. So eventually it will be all red, And if I could correctly guess that the majority of the numbers will be to the right side, then it gives me an advantage, okay? So looking at this, I have 1 number at the top, which gives me some kind of clue. Okay, so when I put 3 numbers up, I'm going to be putting a color to it. Okay, so if there's 2 hits to it, I color it a light red. If there's 3 hits, I color it a dark red. Over here, if it's 2 zeros or 2 misses to it, I color it a light blue. And if there's 3 zeros, I color it a dark blue. Okay, so a triple hit comes up a lot. Okay, you can see that it comes up just about every drawing. It's only been 3 drawings that hasn't had. Well, here's another one. But still, the majority of the time, there's usually a triple hit. Okay, so I look at this and I say, okay, where's that triple hit going to be? Maybe we'll be here in the orange. And what does that mean? That means I think that one of these orange numbers, or maybe even two of them, will be coming up in this drawing. Okay, so that's something I want to keep in the back of my mind. Okay, so I have 7 of these option cards to choose from. So I got 4 options per option card times 7 option cards equals 28 options that I have. And I feel that if I could just get one correct out of those 28, then I'll be doing good. I can knock out 17 numbers. Okay, so I also have a group 6. Okay, so this group 6 is, well, what does this mean? This means that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, and there's 6 different color groups here. So I know that one of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, and as I look at the results of what's been coming up, you can see that the majority is even 4. So 2 of these color groups on average don't come up. Okay, so I have 7 of these option cards as well. Okay, so another one that I have is group 8. So you can see that I have, they're all evens, 2, 4, 6, 8, and I also have a 10. And the reason why I have that is so I could have the majority on either the right side or the left side. Okay, so that's why I have those even numbers. I certainly can't have that with group 9, So looking at this, I know that 3 of these color groups cannot come up. So the thing about this is, with this group 4, I can knock out a bunch of numbers if I get it correct, but the odds are really poor. With this group 10, I knock out fewer numbers, but the odds are pretty good that I'll get it correct. Okay, so I also have a Powerball number 2 and a Powerball number 3. So I'm going to update this one here, okay? Again, it was the 11, which is red. The 19 is orange. The 39 is another red. 44 is orange. And 65 is blue. So I had 2 red, 1 blue, 2 orange, and no green numbers came up. Okay, so this hit 3 out of the 4 groups, and the majority of the numbers are over here to the left side, so I'm going to keep this 3 red. Okay, so looking at the past, you can see that, wow, it's been green a lot. That means the majority of the numbers have been coming over here. Now this one is red, and you can see that there was no green numbers that came up in this last drawing. So, if I could have correctly guessed that, I could have eliminated all these green numbers off of the game card and gave myself a really good chance of winning some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so this one's looking pretty good. I'm probably going to go with this. You can see that this dark red doesn't come up, it doesn't last forever. So you can see that it's been 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23 drawings in a row where one of these red numbers have come up. So maybe it's due to have a 0 to it. Okay, so I'm going to go to Powerball number 3. Okay, so I'm going to update this one as well. So again, it was the 11 and the 44 in yellow. And then I had the 19, which is in brown. The 39 is in green. And the 65 is in blue. Okay, so that means there is no Powerball numbers in the red area. No Powerball numbers in the orange. No Powerball numbers in the purple. No Powerball numbers in the turquoise. No winning Powerball numbers in the pink. And no winning Powerball numbers in the light blue. Okay, so this gives me, I had 1, 2, 3, it hit 4 of the color groups. The majority of the numbers are over here to the right side, so I'm going to keep that for green. Okay, so overall the majority is green, so I'm going to color it kind of a lighter green. Now if it's all 3 green numbers, then I color it a little bit darker, just to give me some separation. Okay, so now I'm going to put some colors to this. I'll find all the ones with 2 zeros to it. And I'm going to color it a light blue. Okay, so I'll find all the ones with 2 hits. This is a light red. And then I just have this 000, which is a dark blue. Okay, so that gives me some separation. So over here with this blue, this says, okay, how many blue marks do I have? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then how many 000 do I have? I got 1. And how many triple hits? I have 0. Okay, so you can see that I have these staggered here. Okay, so now this one's all done. So now I'm going to be going up another notch for when the Powerball numbers go off tonight. Okay, so I have these staggered. So Powerball number 2, this has 2 numbers on the top, and now I'm ready to put colors to it. So this has the advantage. It has a little bit more advantage over this one where it has 1 number to it. And of course a bigger advantage over this one which has no numbers on the top. Okay, so this one has the advantage now. Okay, so this is why I have it staggered. So every game I have this advantage here where I'm going to be putting colors to this. So I'm going to pick this one, this red, and I'm going to mark it a blue. And the reason why I do that is when I go back and I update this for the next drawing, I'll look at it and say, okay, did I get this correct? Or did I get it wrong? Or did a number come up? Okay, so my guess is that none of these red numbers will be coming up. So I'm going to get rid of them all off my game card. Okay, so it's this corner, the 1 to the 11, then the 5, 6, 31, 32. Okay, so I'll get rid of the 1, 2, 11 and the 5, 6. And then it's the 39, 40, 48, 49. And then the 35, 36, 52 to 54 and the 61. So I'll get rid of the 40, 48, 49, the 53, 54, yeah, and that's it. Okay, so hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at a couple more. Alright, so this one doesn't look as promising. You know, if anything, I'm going to look at this and say, okay, where's that triple hit going to be? I guess my guess would be red. So I'm thinking that one of these red numbers will be coming up. Okay, so let's see what I got. I got the 3, 4, 21, 22. Pretty sure the 46, 47. And the 65. Okay, so I'm just going to keep that in the back of my mind. Going to move on. Okay, so nothing really excites me here. Again, if I could just get one of these correct. Actually, I have 9. Oh, here's another one that looks really good. See, it's been green a lot over here, so maybe the majority of the numbers will be all over here on this side. I'm going to move on. Again, if I got that last one correct, the odds of me getting another one correct with just 4 color groups and 5 numbers is pretty hard. Okay, this red looks really good. But the thing I don't like about it is that I think that more odd numbers are going to come up in this drawing. And you can see that all these red numbers are all odd numbers. So that's the thing I don't like about it. So I'm going to move on. Okay, again, there's nothing that really stands out. Kind of like this green one here. You can see lots of green over here, so maybe the majority of the numbers will be on this side. I just see too many odd numbers, so I'm gonna move on. This one looks pretty good to have a 0 to it. Here I'm going to hit the home button. It's going to bring me right back to number 1. And again, if I could just get one of these correct, then I'll be doing pretty good. So now I'm just going to leave it alone at that. And now I'm going to move on to different groups where I have better odds. Okay, so here this is a group 8. I have 3 of these option cards, and they're all in that, you know, that stage where it has 2 numbers to it. So I got 3 of these option cards, and then I have a overview of all 3 of these option cards. Okay, so in the last drawing there was 2 option cards that had a hit and 1 option card that had a miss. Okay, so certainly what I'm looking for is this 0-3. That means none of those 3 option cards had a winning Powerball number to it. So I look to see, okay, when's the last time a 0-3 has come up for these color groups? And this one here in gray has never had one. Okay, so where all the other color groups have had many to them, you know, so maybe this is due to have a 0-3 to it. And another one that sticks out to me is this purple. You can see that it's been really hot, and what's hot will eventually turn cold, and vice versa, as you can see. So I'm going to keep an eye on the purple and the gray. Okay, so I'm going to hit the home button, go back to number 1. So I look at this and I say, okay, boy, it's been awful green. So what does that mean again? The majority of the numbers have been coming up on the right side. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a red number. So I think the majority of the numbers will be over here on the left side. And you can see that the red, blue, orange, and green are here, and these 2. Okay, so how that relates to the game card here is I believe that the majority of the numbers will be in these 2 squares right here. Okay, so that's what I want to keep an eye on. Alright, so again, if I think the majority of the numbers will be on this side, and that means only 2 numbers could come up over here on the right side, if my guess is correct. Okay, so I want to look over here to say, okay, you know, I think there's going to be two of these color groups that will have a 0 to it. And I said purple and gray. And this gray kind of looks more promising. You know, it's been red, 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 really hot. These numbers right here, the 6 to the 32 and the 36 to the 63 and the 61, these numbers have been coming up a lot for some reason. Okay, and my guess is that hopefully it will be not so hot anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna predict that the 0 is gonna be right here, and I'm gonna get rid of these gray numbers, the 6 to the 32 and the 36 to the 63 and that 61. So I'll get rid of the 15 and the 24 and the 45. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. Option card number 2 here. Again, it's been awful green. So I think the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. And again, that gray looks pretty good. It's never been a 0-3 before. I'm going to go with the gray again. And the reason why I like this is again, I think the majority of the numbers are going to be in these two pockets here, and the grays on this side and this side. So I like that. So I'm going to get rid of the 5 through the 9 and the 35 to the 38. So I'll get rid of the 7, 8, 9, and that's it. But still, that's 3 more numbers off my game card. So again, if I made the correct picks and none of these blocked out numbers come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so I'm moving on. Off to option card number 3, my last option card for this. I got group 8A, 8B, and 8C. And then I also have a group 10 here with this advantage, again, of 2 numbers at the top. Okay, so I'm looking at this. I see it's been awful red here. So I'm thinking that the majority of the numbers will be over here on this side. And one that really stands out the most is this orange right here. Been awful hot. Hopefully it's due to have a mist to it. Okay, so let's see here. You know, I'm gonna go with the green instead. And the reason why is because all these orange numbers are odd numbers, and I think that more odd numbers are going to come up in this drawing. So I'm going to go with the green instead because they represent all even numbers. Okay, so I'll get rid of the 8, 16, 26, 34. So I'll get rid of this 16, 26. And then I'll get rid of the 46, 54, 56, 62, 64. So I'll get rid of the 46, 56, 62. And that knocked out some numbers for me. So hopefully I made the correct picks, and hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so that's it for that one. Now I'm going to move on to group 8B. Okay, and basically I'm just going to go right to the overview. And again, I want to look for a 0-3. Because that red hasn't come up in a while. or the green. This yellow has been on a pretty good hot streak, so maybe I'll look at that as well. And now I'm just going to hit the home button, bring me back to the first card. Okay, so over here again, I see lots of red. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number. And again, green means the majority of the numbers will be coming up on the right side. Okay, so looking at this, you know, compared to the other ones with this triple zeros here, lots of times they double up. Like right here. And right here. So here's another one where it doubled up. Okay, so over here I see that it hasn't doubled up at all anywhere. So I'm thinking that this could be the opportunity for it to have a zero right here and have it double up. So I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to get, oh, I just notice that most of these numbers are even numbers too, so I like that even more. Okay, so the 6, 16, 24, 34. All gone. And then the 40, 50, 58, 43, 69. So I'll get rid of the 43, 69. And the 50. Okay, so I'm getting down there, and again, hopefully I made the correct picks. Okay, so moving on. Here, this has kind of been a mixed bag over here, so maybe it will continue to be a mixed bag. I'll say that the majority of the numbers will be to the left side, making this number red. Okay, and looking at this, you know, there's usually a triple zero. Okay, so I'm thinking that, hey, this is the only opportunity for a triple zero right here. And in the past, there's always been at least one. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say no gray numbers. And the majority of them are odd numbers, so I don't like that. So I'm going to back out of that one and move on to the next one. You know, it's all about a gut feeling. You know, if you don't have a good gut feeling, then just move on. That's why I gave myself plenty of option cards here. Okay, so I'm sure you heard of the saying divide and conquer. Okay, so this is my way of dividing. Okay, and the way that I want to conquer is that I gave myself 8 color groups, and I know that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So hopefully I could just get one of these correct and move on to the next option card. Okay, so looking at this one, and I had a big streak of zeros here, so maybe this is due to have a triple zero, and I got 2 options. I'm kind of liking this purple. But I have a feeling that this number is going to be green. You know, it's never been a dark green here. So this is the opportunity for it. Okay, so this purple's on that side. So now I like the green one a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to go with this green. And I'll get rid of the 514 and the 2230. So I'll get rid of the 1422. And then the 3645, 59, 68. I'll get rid of the 68, so it's one more number off of my game card. Okay, so I'm getting down there. I got 4, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 22 numbers. Okay, so if I made the correct picks and none of these blocked out numbers come up, then again the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers have to be left within these 22 numbers. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to move on to 8C. I'm going to go right to the overview. Okay, so the first thing that sticks out is this brown. It's been pretty hot lately, so maybe this will be a blue mark. Same thing here with the blue. It's been really hot. And what's hot will eventually cool down. Okay, so another thing that I'm looking for is a 03. This red hasn't come up in a while. This brown hasn't come up in a while. And it's been really hot, so maybe that's the 03. Okay, so you can see that it's been pretty green for the majority of the time. Then you got this little red. So I think that this is going to be a red number, which means I believe that the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. Which leaves this brown. This brown's been pretty hot, so hopefully it's due to cool down. And I'm going to go with no brown. Okay, so it's kind of like a crescent moon from the 7 to the 33 and the 37 to the 64. So I'll get rid of the 17 and the 47. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. Again, I kind of like this brown. Okay, so nothing looks all that great here, okay? I got a bunch of zeros over here. So maybe this is due for a hit. You know, another thing that I'm looking at is you can see that there's been a hit here, then one here, one here. You know, it's like every other one. And finally it triples up right here. You know, so I'm thinking that maybe this is going to double up and have a hit. Okay, so it's the 5, 15, 16, 8, 9. I got no numbers there, and then the 35 to the 38. I got no numbers there either. Well, hopefully it's not going to have a hit to it. Okay, so I'm going to move on from this one. Go to my last one here. And first thing I notice is I have no 000 options. Second thing I notice is the majority has been green. So I'm thinking that this number is going to be a red number, which I think that the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. And I think I'm going to go with this brown. Okay, so it's the 23 to the 33 and then the 56 to the 63. So I'll get rid of the 65. And hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, so now we're going to move on to group 10. This is my last group where I have this advantage of 2 numbers on the top. Now you can see that most of the time there's a 000 that comes up. So I want to look for the opportunities. Okay, so I have a red, blue, green, and turquoise. Okay, so I have 3 of these option cards as well. Option card number 2, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 000s. And option card number 3, I got 1, 2, 3 000 options. Okay, so this is the overview, and what I'm looking for here is a 03. Comes up a lot, so I'm looking for the one that hasn't come up in a while. And so far the one that sticks out is this turquoise. Then way down here where all the others have been pretty close to the top, except for this turquoise. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to keep an eye on that turquoise. And another thing that looks pretty hot is this brown over here. So maybe this is due to be like a 1, 2. So 2 of these option cards may have a 0 to it. So turquoise and brown. Kind of been a mixed bag over here. So that's not a huge help. This yellow looks like it might have a hit to it. I thought the majority of the numbers will be in this area here. So I got the 50, 51, 59. And I got the 51 left over here. So kind of like that number. And the turquoise could be a 000, which usually there's always at least 1 or 2 of them. So I'm going to go with this turquoise. And I'll get rid of the 15, 23, 31, 34. And then the 49, 58, 67. So I'll get rid of the 67. And again, hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, so moving on. Again, this green looks pretty good to have a hit to it. I got the 3, 13, 7, 17. Okay, the 313 is still in play. With that 51, that would give me the majority of odd numbers that I'm looking for. Again, when it has 10 color groups like this, usually there's a 000. Okay, so I don't see any zeros over here. So, and again, there's usually, you know, you can see that there's not that many 1s here. Okay, so there's usually a couple. So looking at this is a mixed bag as well. I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a green number. But who knows? Okay, so I'm thinking that this brown has never had a 000 to it, or all the other color groups have. So maybe this is due. Hopefully it's due because I'm going to pick it. And hopefully it will have a 000 to it. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 21, 28, 36, 47, 62. So I'll get rid of the 21, 28. And then the 48, 59. They're not there. Okay, so I knocked out a couple. And hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. Had lots of 000s, 5 of them, the last drawing. When that happens, usually it means the next one doesn't have so many. So I got 1, 2, 3 options. Majority of the numbers have been coming up over here to the left side. So I'm thinking that this number is going to be green, which means I believe the majority of the numbers will be over here to the right side. Okay, and certainly this yellow looks pretty promising for a hit. So hey, here's that 313 again. The 2755. Okay. So looking at this, yeah, it's too hard. It's too hard for me to make a decision, so I'm not. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one that has the advantage, okay? And that is this one here where it has at least one number at the top. Okay, so I'm just looking for, I'm going to breeze through these pretty quick because the odds of me getting this correct are pretty steep. Okay, so but if I see something that's really stands out, but I'd rather go right to the ones that have the better odds, like the group 6, 8, and 10. But again, I'm gonna look at this. There might be something here. I'm not seeing much though. Yeah, again, this is what I'm looking for. Lots of hits in a row like this. Okay, so here's one right here where I got this line to this line counts 5 of these. Okay, so it's 15 drawings, and you can see that I just look for the line, So it's been 5, 10, 11 hits in a row here in this line, where you can see with the other ones it doesn't go that far, you know. Okay, but I don't like those anyway, so I'm going to move on to group 6. Okay, so here I got 7 of these option cards, and I'm going to go right to the overview to see if there's a color that kind of stands out that I should look at. Okay, so far looking at this, the purple kind of stands out. That's been really hot lately. Okay, this 1 means how many blue marks did I have? I had 1. And this 14 means how many misses were there. So I had 3, 5, 9, 10, 11, and 3 are 14. So there's 14 misses total. Okay, and that's kind of on the low scale. But it's pretty much around average 15, 16. But, you know, that's what I think of. You know, there's going to be at least 15 or 16 misses throughout these 7 option cards here. Okay, so option card number 1, the first thing that sticks out, this green, this row of green, I'm thinking that this is going to be a red number, which means I believe the majority of the numbers will be over here. And I did say that purple looked pretty good. And here, you know, it had a pretty good hit streak. Okay, another thing I look for is like this 0 right here. It's a single 0 in this middle column. So here's another single 0, another single 0. And what I mean by single 0 is here's 2 where there's a 0 right on top. I guess we'll call that a double 0, okay? But here, single 0, single 0, single 0, single. And then finally, you know, you got a bunch in a row here. Okay, so when's this 0 going to double up? Like over here or right here? That's the question. Is it going to happen this time? Okay, so I'm thinking that it is. So I'm going to go with this yellow. And hopefully that 0 doubles up. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, there's the 13. Well, I'm going to go for it. You know, it kept on coming up to 313, 313. So maybe that 3 will be coming up, and hopefully the 13 doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 12, 13, 19, 20. Okay, so that knocks out 4 numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of the 14, 15, 23, 24, and then this middle 45, 46, 54, 55. So the only one left is that 55. So I'll get rid of that. So again, I'm getting down here. I got 5, 6, 10, 11 numbers. Okay, so the reason why I believe in this game so much is that one time out of all the times I played this game, I reduced the numbers down to 10 numbers like this. Well, this is 11, of course. But the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers landed within these 10 numbers. So I only got 2 numbers correct that day, but I looked at it and said, wow, I gave myself a much better chance at winning a really good prize. So let's get back at it. Off to option card number 2. Okay, kind of been a mixed bag over here. Here's a bunch of single zeros again. Then finally it triples up. I'm going to move on, see if there's anything better. Certainly I kind of like this purple on how hot it's been. Talking 10 red marks here. This was 10 as well, and finally had a blue mark to it. Okay, so if this is going to be a blue mark, the next two drawings have to be 2 zeros here. Okay, so I'm going to go for this one. And I'm going to get rid of the 35 to the 65 and then this corner. So I'll get rid of the 57. And now I'm down to 10 numbers. Okay, so moving on. Okay, you know, sometimes you just take a look at it and say, yeah, this is... Well, before I jump too far here, look at all these single blue marks. Okay, they're all single blues. Now this has the opportunity to double up with 2 zeros coming up here. And look how many times in the other colors, how many times it's doubled up, and this one has never doubled up. So I'm going to go with this in the hopes that it's due to have 2 blue marks. And I'm going to get rid of these orange numbers. Okay, so the 23 to the 25 and the 28 to the 30. So I'll get rid of the 28, 29. And then I'm going to get rid of the 39, 42, 60. So I'll get rid of the 42. And then I'll get rid of the 36, 56, 65. And there's no numbers to get rid of. Okay, so now I'm really getting down there. I got 4, 5, 6, 7, and again I thought the majority of the numbers will be in these 2 areas, so I like that. Okay, so now I'm moving on. I got 3 more of these option cards. But it's going to be hard for me to pick here. Wow, look at this purple. I'm going to go for this purple. It's just been really, really hot. You can see how much green has been over here. I think that this is going to be a red number. Kind of like this red. Here's that 3 again. I'll get rid of the purple. See if there's any numbers left. I think that 44. Yep, just the 44. And then the 41, 51 is not purple. Okay, so moving on. I got one more number to get rid of. Kind of like this yellow right here. $15, $23, $24, $32. Nothing's there. Okay, so I'm going to go to group 8. And I'm just going to kind of breeze through these because I rather pick from group 10 where I have just a slider advantage to get rid of that last number. Okay, so if anything stands out here, it's this red. Then wicked hot. I don't see any numbers over here anyways. This pink looks pretty good. Yeah, there's no numbers left. So moving on. Not really liking it. Well, I kind of like this turquoise. There's no numbers here. Nothing stands out there. Maybe this pink. Nothing there. And again, this is like no help. So if I don't see anything to eliminate, then I'm going to have to look through this to see where I think a hit is going to come up. Like this green right here. Well, hopefully there'll be no green numbers that come up because I don't see any. Okay, so I'm looking for an opportunity for a 000. I got 1 0 up on board here. So I'm looking for a 000 that hasn't come up in a while. Here's one in this turquoise. I don't believe there's anything there. This one was from my last game. You see I got that correct. And maybe it's due to happen again. Okay, so if I pick that red, I'll get rid of the 18. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll certainly give me more odd numbers. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. See, this is single 4 to 1, single 4 to 1. Then finally they double up, 4 to 1, 4 to 1. So maybe it's due to double up, hopefully. So I'm going to go with the 3. Oops. The 3, 4, 27, 41, 51. Funny thing about that 41, I was looking at the individual numbers here. And that 40 number hasn't come up in a little while, except for this last drawing had the 44. So I was thinking that maybe there'll be a second hit here in the 40s. So hopefully that 41 does come up. That will give me a 3 color combination, which comes up the most. 102 times out of 214 drawings, so hopefully it will be another 3 color combination. Alright, so what I'm going to do is pick a Powerball number to go with it. Okay, so last drawing, the Powerball number was 7. So you can see I put that up here as a 7. Okay, so there's 26 Powerball numbers total. So I just divided this in 2. So if you see a red number, that means it's high, 14 to 26. And blue means low, 1 to 13. Okay, so over here on this side, I just divided it into odds and evens. So if you see a red number, that's odds. If you see a black number, that's evens. You can see that the odd numbers have been coming up a lot recently, okay, for the majority. And this is going to be the majority as well. Okay, so what I noticed about this, I look for patterns. And I noticed this pattern go down a couple times. Like this 25 will come up, and then a number, I guess the 7, and then the 25 will come right back up. Okay, so I call it like a leapfrog, I guess. Here it is with the 6. Here it is with the 2. Okay, so here it is with the 25. Here it is with the 23. Okay, so I think that this is 23 is the last time that this happened. We're getting pretty close to the top. Okay, so I'm thinking that the 15 is going to leapfrog, okay? Hopefully it does anyways. So again, hopefully, the 15 comes up, then the 7, and then hopefully the 15 will come right back up. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 15. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 3, 4, 27, 41, 51, and the Powerball number 15. Okay, so like Sherlock Holmes would say, this is a matter of deduction. So again, if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these 5 highlighted numbers have to come up. Okay, so let's go over the odds real quick. Okay, so the odds to get the grand prize, all 5 white ball numbers and the red ball, the odds of winning are 1 in 292 million. Okay, my game is mostly set up for the white balls, so if I could get all 5 white balls correct, that pays out $2 million with the power play, $1 million without the power play. But the odds of getting it are 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so in other words, you can make nearly 12 million 5-number combinations out of 69 numbers. Okay, so I don't want to say that this is going to be an easy thing to do. Okay, so another great prize would be getting 4 white ball numbers in the Powerball. That pays $50,000 plus the power play if you play it. And the odds are just about 1 in a million. Okay, so I wanted to go over a budget. Okay, so I want to know what I'm spending. So if it's $3 per drawing, there's 3 drawings per week. If I play every Powerball drawing, I will spend $468 per year. Okay, so moving on. In closing, I just want to thank you for watching. Okay, again, you can support my game through my Patreon page at patreon.com/decoding the Powerball. And if you'd like to give me any feedback, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, there's no "the" in there, so it's just decodingpowerball@gmail.com. And with 119 million on the line, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.